Welcome. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I make mead from scratch using my new Mead Process Designer tool. It works with ChatGPT's AI. Before we dive in, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me keep bringing you awesome mead making content that you can use on your next batch of mead. Whether you're a seasoned mead maker or just starting out, this ebook offers valuable insights to enhance your mead making. Don't forget to go to the description or the comments to get the link to my ebook, The Practical Mead-Maker. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced mead maker, my Mead Process Designer tool guides you through the entire mead making process. It breaks down the complex art of mead making into manageable steps, offering you clear instructions and interactive responses tailored to your specific mead making needs. You will gain consistency in your meads, enhance mead making skills, and the ability to solve mead making problems strictly from stalled mead fermentations to balancing mead flavors. My AI Mead Process Designer tool ensures that every step is precise and straightforward, making the entire process both simple and efficient. Without them, you could face stalled fermentations and imbalanced flavors, which can result in a disappointing batch of mead. Enhance your mead making with my suite of AI tools. My Yeast Selector tool, my pH adjustment tool to reduce acidity, my Mead Acid Adjuster Calculator tool for balancing mead after fermentation. You can check them out in the link in the description or in the comments section. In my mead making process, I use 1 gallon of 8.5 to 9.5% alkaline water with 3 pounds of honey. This helps buffer the natural acidity of the honey and ensures a smoother fermentation process. This ratio also provides an approximate original gravity of 1120. Additionally, I use a full pack of dry yeast, but typically you only need 2.5 grams for that gallon to ensure a robust and healthy fermentation. Let's start with the essentials you will need for making mead. You'll need 1 gallon of 8.5 to 9.5% alkaline water, 3 pounds of your favorite honey, 2.5 grams of yeast, and sanitizer. Additionally, you will need a bucket or a glass carboy to ferment it, a hydrometer to measure gravity, a scale for the honey, an airlock, a bung, and an auto siphon with tubing for transferring the mead. To choose the right yeast, you can use my Yeast Selector tool for mead making. This provides recommendations based on your specific honey type, mead fermentation conditions, and desired mead characteristics, ensuring the best match for enhanced mead flavors and optimal fermentation. Now, let's introduce my AI mead making tool, which offers clear instructions, interactive responses, and tailored advice to ensure your mead making journey is smooth and successful. So next, the process. First, sanitize all your equipment thoroughly to prevent any unwanted bacteria from spoiling your mead. Next, you're going to mix your ingredients. You have the option to pasteurize your honey before it goes into the fermenter. I don't do it, but many people I know do. Heat the honey to 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes. This step can help ensure a clean fermentation. After pasteurization, mix your ingredients by filling part of your fermenter with water and then adding the honey. Use a scale if you need to measure out the honey. Shake the mixture well to oxygenate it, or use oxygen or a whip, a stainless whip in your drill to aerate it, and make sure everything is combined. After mixing, take a gravity reading with your hydrometer. This reading helps you monitor the fermentation process. It's a good idea to write down the initial gravity reading. Choosing the right yeast is crucial for a successful fermentation. My Yeast Selector tool helps you select the best yeast based on your specific honey type, fermentation conditions, and desired characteristics of your mead. This ensures optimal fermentation performance, enhancing the flavors and overall quality of your mead. Pitch your yeast into the mead. Ensure that the yeast is evenly distributed. Store the fermenter in a place with a stable temperature to start the fermentation process. I usually do it under 68 degrees. Fermentation should take between 14 and 20 days. I split my nutrient additions into 4 phases, which I feel is crucial for the health and efficiency of the yeast. Here's why. Adding nutrients at the start provides the yeast with immediate resources to kickstart fermentation. After 24 hours, I add a second nutrient addition, which supports the yeast as they begin to multiply and establish themselves. Phase 3, which is mid-fermentation, around day 3 or 4. As the yeast population peaks, another nutrient boost helps sustain their activity and prevents premature fermentation slowdown. Phase 4, towards the end of active fermentation. Final nutrient addition ensures that the yeast can complete fermentation efficiently, reducing the risk of off flavors or stuck fermentation. By splitting these nutrient additions into these 4 phases, ensures a steady fermentation rate, improve yeast health, and a balanced flavor development. This method helps prevent common fermentation issues and results in a cleaner, more consistent mead. During fermentation, I use the pH adjustment tool to reduce the acidity and maintain an optimal pH level. This tool helps me craft the perfect mead with real-time pH control, ensuring the best flavor and fermentation conditions. Maintaining the correct pH level is crucial for the primary fermentation process. Honey by nature is quite acidic, and if pH drops too low, it can inhibit the yeast activity. The ideal pH range for fermentation is between 3.7 and 4.6. This ensures that the yeast can function efficiently and convert sugars into alcohol without stress. The pH adjustment tool works with any of the following pH adjusters: potassium bicarbonate, potassium carbonate, or calcium carbonate. I tend to always use potassium bicarbonate. It does a great job for me very quickly, but calcium carbonate also works really well too. After the fermentation period, I check the gravity again to ensure fermentation is complete. If the gravity is stabilized, I then rack the mead to another vessel and I separate it from the lees. If you prefer a sweeter mead, you can stabilize and back sweeten it. Stabilizing prevents the yeast from fermenting any additional sugars you might add or that exist in the fermenter. You can use potassium sorbate or metabisulfate to halt the fermentation. Another method, which is what I generally do, is cold crash, which temporarily stops the fermentation by chilling the mead. I bring the temperature down to about 45 degrees and that works perfect, and everything seems to stabilize and flock out. Once I do that, I taste the mead, and if I find that it's out of balance, I use my mead acid adjuster calculator tool to balance the mead after fermentation. This tool helps me fine-tune the acidity in the final stages. Proper acid balance enhances flavor, stability, and overall mouthfeel of the mead. It prevents your mead from being too sharp or flat, resulting in a harmonious and enjoyable drink. The final step is bottling or kegging your mead. Make sure all bottles and kegs are sanitized before you use them. I use tools like a beer gun, the spigot, siphon, cobra tap, or a counterflow tool to fill each bottle or my kegs, being careful that I don't overfill the bottles and create a mess. I tend not to cork bottles, but many people do. I cap them, so you can cap or cork each bottle with the appropriate instrument. Label your bottles to keep track of what's inside. You can also age your mead to enhance the flavors and achieve clarity. For a clearer mead, you might consider using clearing agents like sparkaloid or bentonite. I don't use them. I know plenty of people that do. Aging a mead also helps develop its character, making it taste even better over time. I generally blend my honeys, I blend my meads, and I create unique flavor profiles by doing so. Additionally, I have used rum, whiskey, and bourbon barrels for aging. The mead I'm drinking now is from a rum barrel. This not only adds complexity and depth to the mead, it also imparts subtle notes of oak, vanilla, and spices from the barrels, creating a rich and sophisticated beverage. So if you're ready to start making mead with precision and ease, click the link in the description or the comments to get started with my AI mead making tools. Please click on the video up here to get some more awesome tips on mead making.